Okay, let's take a look at the worksheet 12.1 to 12.3 quiz review. This is relatively easy and close to what you will see tomorrow on the quiz. Okay, the first one says, assume that lines that appear to be tangent are tangent. C is the center of the circle. Find the value of x. Remember, if it tells you it's tangent, then you know that you have those two right angles. The sum of a quadrilateral is 360, so therefore 90 plus 90 plus 42 plus x equals 360. 222 plus x equals 360, so x is equal to 138 degrees. Number 2, again, you're told that AB is tangent to circle C at B. Therefore, you know you have that right angle. So, remember, to verify which is the hypotenuse, it's opposite that right angle. So I have x squared plus 24 squared is equal to x plus 3. Remember, the length of this line is the sum of those two expressions. So you get x squared plus 576. Foil this. X squared plus 13x plus 13x plus 169. So I have x squared plus 576 equals x squared plus 26x plus 169. Subtract the x squareds and then subtract the 169 from both sides. You will get 407 is equal to 26x divided by 26, and x is equal to 15.65. Number 3, again, you're told that SN is tangent to both of those, giving you a right angle here and a right angle here. Remember, you're going to draw a line from that point of tangency on the smaller circle parallel with that line that is the center. So these two are parallel. That makes this an X. Again, your right angle is opposite the hypotenuse, so we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. 13 squared plus 18, oops, not 13, silly me, I'm in a hurry. Let's back up. Okay, the length of this side of the triangle, so this is the triangle I'm looking at, the length of that side is the larger circle radius minus the smaller circle radius, so that's a 7. So I have 7 squared plus 18 squared equals x squared, so 49 plus 324 equals x squared. 373 equals x squared. The square root of 373 equals x. And again, just put this in decimal form. 19.31 is the value of x. Number 4, a polygon is circumscribed, or actually, a polygon is circumscribed about a circle. Find the perimeter. So when you look at this, remember that these are all points of tangency where the circle and those lines intersect. So start with the one that is 2. If this length is 2, this length is 2. Therefore, this length would be 3, and this length would be 3. That makes this length 6, and this length 6, making this one 2, and this one 2, and finally the last one then would be 9 and 9. So then you can just add all of those up and you would get that the perimeter is equal to 44. Number 5, find the radius and measure of the arc. This should be a right angle. So therefore, that's a diameter, goes through the center, and so it bisects that chord. Therefore, we have a right triangle here. Side 4, side 6, and we want to find the radius. So 4 squared plus 6 squared equals r squared. 16 plus 36 equals r squared. So r is equal to the square root of 52, and that's approximately equal to 7.2. Now to find the arc measure, remember the arc measure is the measure of this arc. So the measure of arc AB, it is equal to the central angle measure. So can we find the central angle measure? And the answer to that question is yes. When we look at this triangle right here, this triangle, the value or the measure of that central angle is x. We can use a trig ratio, specifically tangent. So tangent of x is equal to 4 over 6. Remember, when you're finding the measure of the angle, you use the inverse. So x is equal to tan inverse of 4 over 6. X is equal to 34 degrees. Remember that that is half the central angle measure, so you must double it. So the central angle is equal to 68 degrees, and therefore the measure of arc AB equals 68 degrees. Okay, so you're going to have to go back and use those trig ratios again in a couple places on this quiz. Number 6 says find the value of x to the nearest tenth. So again, if I draw a diameter through here, I'm going to get this right triangle. I know my central angle measure is 120, therefore that diameter bisects it and makes that 60. That gives me a 30, 60, 90 right triangle. I know the relationship between the hypotenuse and the short leg is 4, therefore the long leg is 4 root 3. The other way to think about this is you can use the trig ratios. If this is 60 and that's 8, you could always use sine and use sine of 60 is equal to a over 8. So 8 times sine of 60 equals a. I don't have my calculator right here. So you could find the length of that and then double that and you get the length of the side. The length of the side here is 8 root 3, which is approximately equal to 13.7, I think it was. Again, you can find it either way, either special right triangles or trig ratios. Both will be acceptable. Number 7, find the value of each variable. You can just take a minute and extend some of these lines. X has its end points on the diameter of a circle, therefore this arc measure is 180 degrees. X is an inscribed angle, therefore X is 90 degrees. Take a look at Y. Extend those segments so that you're looking at the arc Y corresponds to that inscribed angle, which is 50. Therefore, Y is double that, so it is 100. And last, we have Z. So I will extend those rays for Z. The corresponding arc is 80 degrees. Therefore, the inscribed angle is half of that, and Z is equal to 40 degrees. Number 8, DC is tangent to circle A at C. Determine the value of X and Y. So you know, if this arc is 260, then this arc is 360 minus 260, or 100. So therefore, y is equal to 100 degrees. And then remember the relationship between that angle BCD, is 1/2 the arc measure of BC. So therefore, x is equal to 50 degrees. Number 9, ABCD is inscribed in circle X. Determine the value of the given variables. So again, we can take a look at this. I'm going to extend a couple of lines. Let's see, I'll start with this inscribed angle corresponds to the arc ABC. So the measure of arc ABC is equal to 215 degrees. Therefore, that inscribed angle is half the intercepted arc, which means it's 107.5 degrees. Let's take a look at another angle then. Let's look at angle Z. So I'll extend these rays. So arc BAD, so I'm looking at arc BAD now. The measure of arc BAD is equal to 195 degrees. So therefore, that Z is equal to half arc, the measure of arc BAD. So therefore, Z is equal to 97.5. So for this one, this is ABC was X. Now you can continue to do that, or you can look at this and say, oh, well, I remember that opposite angles of a quadrilateral inscribed in a circle are supplementary. Therefore, X plus Y equals 180. So if X is 107.5, then I can find that Y is, let's see, 82.5. And likewise, W plus Z would equal 180. If Z is 97.5, W plus 97.5 equals 180. So W is equal to 82.5. Is that right? That doesn't seem right. This one doesn't seem right. So this was, sorry, I don't have my calculator right here. That would be 72.5. And that one should be 82.5. Number 10, I have, again, I'm going to make that a perpendicular, so it bisects that chord, so that is 8. This is a diameter, so therefore half of that would be a radius, which is 10. So I have this right triangle, x squared plus 8 squared equals 10 squared. So x squared plus 64 equals 100. X equals the square root of 36, which is 6. Number 11, same thing. I'm going to draw in this radius. This is bisected, that's 12. So that's x. I have 5 squared plus 12 squared equals x squared. 25 plus 144 equals x squared. 169 equals x squared. Therefore, x is equal to 13. Finally, number 12, if two angles share an arc, as x and y do, then they are equal, and they are 1/2 the arc measure, which is 40. Okay, that's the end of the video. I will see you tomorrow.